Hey guys, welcome back. I hope you guys liked my last video that's like this called the Huesa murders. If you guys haven't already seen that video, I'll put that down in the description. And if you guys could give me a like and maybe subscribe if you guys like this kind of content, it shows me that you guys want to see more content like this. I know that I'm not one of those YouTubers that has just a ton of editing, but I just like putting the stuff out there without like a bunch of fancy stuff. I might put like something here, but I don't like putting a whole bunch of editing because it might look appealing, but in my opinion it's not really that worth it. But so I will say there is a trigger, obviously. If you know anything about the title, that is a trigger. It is watch out if you're sensitive to self-death, if you know what I mean. Trying to censor myself for YouTube, that has something to do with it. Just be forewarned. And if you're still here, welcome, but I won't feel bad if you click off this video because of the topic. And let's get into it. This is a fairly recent case. I'm probably going to be posting this sometime in July of 2025. This happened in June of 2025, so last month. And so this is a heartbreaking story about youth vulnerability, because most people think that a lot of problems happen in other countries. They don't realize how often that crimes happen all over the world, especially to youth. Online danger, predators, everything that goes on. So Japan is no exception. You just don't really hear about their crimes, and that's one of the reasons why I've been starting to make these videos, just to get that out there. So if you're familiar with the name and the title, if you're not familiar with the name of the place in the title, this is a forest at the foot of Mount Fuji called Aokigahara. Aokigahara, I think. I'm trying to remember it off of memory. It's kind of a hard name. So this is a forest that is very, very popular for all its tragedy that it has. If y'all know that weirdo Jake Paul, one of the two Paul people, he made a video over there that was very bad. So in June, there was this man. He was 21 years old. He was from Gifu Prefecture that got arrested for the death of a missing teenage girl that ended up in that forest. So the man in question is named Yuto Kakuma. Yeah, Kakuma. And he comes from the Minokamo district. And he was arrested on suspicion of abducting this girl from the Saitama district, Saitama Prefecture. Sorry, I woke up at like 4:30 this morning. My brain is a little bit scrambled with Japanese. So he got arrested specifically for the suspicion of abducting her. So he told police that he abducted her so they could commit self-death together. I've seen people talk about this topic a lot on just the topic of self-death a lot on YouTube, and I decided that better than butchering the word, I prefer self-death. It makes it a lot easier to say and probably get past the YouTube algorithm. So after he did that, on June 8th, the girl left from her house saying that she was going to school. Later on, it was found a self-death ideation note in her room, and she went and met Yuto at the Kawaguchiko station. If If I'm saying that right, I do apologize. I'm butchering these places. So, and then police later found footage, security camera footage that of them walking together and in the forest. And so for those that don't know, there is a lot of security footage, security cameras, so that you can see who's coming and going, because, you know, obviously the past of this forest. So by 8 a.m. the next morning, Kakuma was found leaving the woods, but alone, which is very suspicious, my guy, very suspicious. So 1 week later, meanwhile, this girl's been missing for a week. A tourist found her deep in the forest, obviously not alive, unfortunately, but at least she got found. So the police believe the connection here, and that's where the dangers of online come in. We've always known there's dangers online since the internet came out in like the 80s or 90s, but specifically, this is where like the extra creep factor came into play. So Kakuma, when they went through his phone, they found different like things where he was trying to find other people to do self-death with, as well as researching the forest. So I don't know if he planned on actually doing it or not, but that's still really suspicious in a way. So after her disappearance, Kakuma was monitoring the news outlets of Saitama, waiting to see if the authorities were on his trail yet. So Japan's Aokigahara forest is very beautiful. It is known as Japan's self-death forest. If you guys don't already know about this forest, it is nestled at the foot of Mount Fuji, and it has become infamous for all the amount of people that go there to commit self-death. I've seen quite a few videos on it, and you can just see people's left tents and just whatnot. It's really, really sad, but it's just really sad. So there's annual patrols that go out there searching for people in crisis. There's several signs discouraging people from going in there, especially because like it blocks out a lot of like signals, especially GPS there, so you can't really contact somebody if you like need help in there generally. So as this case is still developing as of the recording of this video, Kakuma is currently being investigated to see if he had a role in this girl's death. It is not known. He said it was a mutual self-death pact, but the authorities are starting to think whether he convinced her or coerced her there. If he's found guilty, that he'll be obviously having severe legal consequences. I do know that Japan has the death penalty, but whether or not he goes free or gets some sort of serious legal repercussion, it won't bring back her or help her loved ones, because she's not gonna come back, and he took her away from them pretty much. And that's the sad thing about this. This tragedy brings light, at least a good chunk more, to the tragedies that are going on in Japan and globally, where youth in times of despair are turning to strangers online, because a lot of people, they can't find somebody to trust, their family, their friends. A lot of people will say go to these people, but as coming from somebody that has kind of a background like that, if you guys can connect with me, it's not that easy. A lot of people will say that it's normal or just deal with it, and they'll invalidate it, at least from my experience. I don't know if maybe you guys have a good network, but that's just usually how it is for people. These aren't just isolated incidents. In recent years, these cases are rising. Strangers, especially adults, going to youths in a guise of empathy and luring them, doing whatever they want with them, whether it's, even if it doesn't result in like the death of somebody, it can cause mental health, youth safety, and whatnot. I have met so many people that are younger than me, and then people that were like my age whenever I was a teen, that have met really bad adults, people their own age, that really mess them up mentally because of like grooming or just like manipulating them. And that's not okay to do to anyone, like at all. Now, if you or anyone you know is struggling with anything really, you can go to, if you're in Japan, obviously, there is a TIL lifeline at 035-774-0992, or visit telep.org, or .com, I mean. So, and then in emergencies, you can call 119. If you're outside of Japan, which I know most of my viewers are, but I have global international viewers, so I decided to put this website up here. There is, obviously, take the actual word and just put that there, selfdeath.org, and that has a whole list of international resources. So just put the S word where I put self-death, and you'll be able to find it. This case is a painful reminder that everyone, that's why you should always be nice to people. Everyone has their own internal struggles. Be nice to somebody. Maybe you might save a life just by helping somebody do something. You never know. It won't. Empathy. That's where I'm going. Empathy, not just for the girl and her family, but everyone, every young person, old person, whoever it is, that is silently crying out for help. In Japan, self-death is not technically illegal, but coercing, aiding, abetting, anything that helps somebody do it is extremely a criminal offense. Now there's a specific article, like I was digging for a bit. There's a specific article called Article 202 of the Japanese Penal Code. A person who induces another to commit self-death or aids another in the act shall be punished by imprisonment with work for no more than 7 years. However, if coercion or violence is involved, or if the person dies as a result of that aid, charges can escalate dramatically, even approach homicide in certain cases. So if you help somebody, like a self-death pact, but you help them do it, you coerce them because maybe they like not too sure they want to do it, you can get like a homicide charge at that point. Like, hopefully he gets charged with the highest crime, because what the heck, dude? Why did you make this poor girl self-death? You should have helped her, not let her do this. Besides, however you might feel, my guy. I don't know how like it is with other countries, because I'm in the US. I know that things are really severe whenever it comes to minors, and especially in Japan. They take crimes against minors especially seriously. Anyone under 18, it's very serious. So in a recent case, in this recent case, I mean, since this girl was a minor, so in this recent case, since she was a minor, This can escalate dramatically compared to if these were both adults, since she was probably a good chance mentally vulnerable. Prosecutors could argue that she was unable to give proper consent, which could elevate the charge from assisted self-death to kidnapping, resulting in the death under Article 224 or 225. One of the two. It could probably be both. This charge can carry life imprisonment or, like I said, the death penalty, which we all know what he should get. Right now, they're still going through like all his devices and stuff, chat logs, whatnot. If it can be proved that there was coercion or anything like that, if they can prove that the suspect deliberately sought out a vulnerable person, planned the act that led to her death, they can prove that it strengthens the argument for intent and premeditation. Again, strengthening that it could be a homicide case at this point. Japan, normally this is where I would end the video, but I'm gonna put a little bit more info. That's not generally the case, but generally still important information. So Japan especially has seen a rise of these self-death packs or Twitter death packs in recent years. There was one famous case back in 2017 with a guy named Shirashi, known as the Twitter killer, who killed and lured 9 people in known as a self-death pact. And he claimed to the police that he wanted to help them die, but the police didn't buy it. The courts ultimately ruled that even if a person agrees to die, it doesn't excuse the person who leads them there. And I wanted to point out the key to a lot of these cases is mental health for both the victim and the accused. Courts sometimes consider whether the accused was also self-death or mentally ill, which can affect sentencing, but Japanese prosecutors typically prioritize the victim's vulnerability, especially when a minor is involved. As the investigation in the Aokigahara case is still unfolding, it is important to know that it's unclear what charges Yuto is going to face, but it's clear there is coercion, intent, and all that. But it is confirmed that Japan's legal system does not take these crimes lightly, especially when they involve children and calculated intent. If you want me to cover the court case whenever I end up finding it, or break down how Japan handles other types of serious crime, or any more crime videos, let me know down in the comments. Give me a subscribe if you want to see more of these videos. I kind of had to rush this ending because I have to go do something. Remember, mental health resources are available. Please don't suffer alone. And I'll see y'all next time.